All right, Mr. Venus, you're officially welcome to Tech and Business. The goal of this podcast is to share people's real life experience, in their tech skill or in their business that has to do with tech. And here with us on this podcast is Mr. Venus. I've known this guy for like God knows when, and he's one of the smartest human being I've ever met. Very smart, and he always knows how to find a way out of things, and that's yeah, and he has been a very good friend. So if you're listening to this podcast, you're gonna be listening to the one of the most unscripted podcasts, right? So Binas, please can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Thanks a lot for having me on your podcast. It's
Yeah.
been a very long road. I'm really happy to be here to have this conversation with you, share my experiences, and learn from you. Hoping I'm teaching other people around the world as well. So about
Uh-huh.
myself, I like to identify as a drone pilot. My journey has been a very interesting one. I got into
Mm.
photography a few years ago when I was still in school, and it has helped me forge a path for myself. I got into that line when I was asking myself questions about what to do when I'll be done with school. Okay, at the time I
Okay.
was in 300 level, it became clear to me, are there really jobs in Nigeria? What am I going to be doing when I'm done with school, when I write my final paper? What will be the next thing? It's a question that a lot of my mates at the time were not asking themselves,
No,
and
same here.
I I'm getting to find out that they were not asking themselves that question the by the results they're having in their lives right now, from what I can see. So I was asking myself, what's next? So by the time I'm done with school, what will be next? And it turns out that I was in church at the time. I was the media coordinator. I was coordinating the media department and picked up the skill of photography. And one day I realized that, wait, this can actually give me money. I can make money
Mm.
out of this if I become good at it. And so I started to learn, started to improve, and then I moved to Abuja and I found a place. Photography
Wow.
basically helped me get a place in Abuja, get busy, and start to understand the town. Took me around the town to very interesting places, helped me with really interesting people. And at the time, I decided to focus to pick a skill, which is aerial photography, flying
Wow.
drones, and I became a drone pilot, the which is the area in the entire photography and videography business that speaks to me, that I really enjoy the most. So I'm a drone pilot currently.
Oh wow, wow, wow. Because I've known you to be the media guy, very interesting media, fun guy. So moving forward, um you've told us how you get started, and I was there in I know I saw you. I was this guy is always the guy that once he gets into anything, you could see the charisma when he gets into things, and that was one thing that got me attracted to you. Till today, we don't even know how we became very close buddies, but I know that man, we're just close, but you know. So, what's one major tech advancement in the drone photography that completely changed the way you create your content?
I didn't get your last question.
So my question is, what is one major tech advancement in drone photography that completely changed the way you create your content?
I think the one technological advancement in drone photography that changed the way I approach people. First of all, is the ability to develop to build drones. If we look back, um, if you look back 15 years ago, when people were making movies, 15, 20 years ago, in the early 2000s, when people were making movies,
Mm-hmm.
if you watch Hollywood movies at the time, and you see aerial pictures and aerial videos in these movies, you just know that behind the scenes during the process of making this film, they had to hire
Yeah.
a helicopter, a helicopter pilot, and then get a cinematographer who would hold the camera, climb the helicopter and fly. They shoot or film while they are in the air. They would have to be filming in the air while the helicopter is in the air. So And as time continues to go on, technology helps people fuse um, propellers and engines with a camera, and our cameras will stop being just in our hands. I saw a picture sometime of a guy who had to stay and capture a volcano erupting, like, get
Oh,
one of the best close-up pictures of a volcano erupting in his time.
wow,
He just had to stand at
wow,
one place. Actually, he died there. He lost his life. He was killed by the volcano eventually, just because he wanted to
yeah.
get the picture. And then when they found his remains, they found the camera and they were able to extract the pictures from the camera. But then he was dead. If only that
Oh
guy
my
had
god,
waited
a drone.
10 more years, he would have had a drone. He would have gotten that picture with a drone. So,
True.
in the space of 10, 15, 20 years, the, the helicopter pilot lost his job. The cinematographer lost his job. We didn't need him to fly up there again for all
Yeah.
the risks that it took. And then the drone was developed and it has entirely changed filmmaking,
Wow. Yeah,
as well
that's
as
true.
other sections or other sectors or applications of drone piloting, really.
And, and the funny thing about this thing is that it has not
So
just
it,
personally to me, it has not just changed the whole filmmaking industry. It has brought a lot of uniqueness. It has brought creativity. Right, you could see that right now some persons don't even need to go to the best of places to even take to get a particular shot. If you can give a particular angle in, like I've observed most of the, you could go to a particular place that's not really that expensive, give a particular angle and you could get a very good view and you could use that. I don't know if this could relate to you.
yeah, I totally relate. I can totally relate to that. You don't have to go to all the most, okay, you might not have to go, you might not have to go to the prettiest places or the most interesting places. But here's what's interesting to people is not just the place, is the angle. Photography and filmmaking is about seeing the world from the eyes of another person, basically, and that's what makes people very interested in what's going on here. Your ability
Yeah,
to see the world the way someone else sees the world. I think that's the beauty of art in all its forms, be
yeah,
it music, painting, um, art generally is about seeing the world from. So, what does this building look like from the sky? What does this
yeah,
river line look like from the sky? What does this
yeah.
environment? We are having fun here in this beautiful garden. We're having fun in this amazing place. But what does it look like from the sky? What do we
Mm.
look like from the sky? So it has changed the entire game. One thing that I was supposed to add to the in my answer to the last question is that one major advancement in the whole drone technology that has changed the way that affected the way I relate to it, affected creativity entirely, is the ability of drones to shoot pictures and videos, not just in landscape mode like this, but
Yeah.
now drones can have their cameras rotate 90 degrees to
Wow.
portrait mode. This has helped
Bro, that's
content creators
crazy.
a lot. So drones now
Yeah.
take videos and pictures in portrait mode like this, which is crazy. It has entirely changed the game and enhanced the creativity of a lot of content creators, basically. Most of who I work with.
I'm actually gonna get a drone very soon so that you can actually teach me how to take those drone shots because I see what you're
I'm
doing
here for
online.
you.
You're actually doing some crazy stuff. Like is this Binas like seriously? This guy is breaking some, giving some mind blowing stuff. Wow. So my third question is gonna go.
Interestingly,
Drones
not all
have
my
become
work goes online, but I'm working on that.
wow. No, when we get to meet, I'm gonna get to see more. I'm gonna get to see more of your work. But
I'm
moving
looking
forward,
forward
right?
to it.
All right, moving forward, right? Drones have
Mhm.
become part of filmmaking, journalism, advertisement, how do you see them change the way media is being produced, right? Since it's now it's a very big part of what we are doing now, right, in our world. So like I said, it has become a big part of filmmaking, journalism, advertising. How do you see them change the way media is being produced based on your experience?
Okay, based on my experience, one of the ways that it is changing the way it is being produced is it has really affected and improved the budget. Like I was saying
Mm,
earlier, in the past, people would have to hire a helicopter pilot, pay for the helicopter, and then pay for a
yeah,
cinematographer to go in the helicopter. Considering all the risks of standing at the door, having harnesses around themselves to different points of the helicopter so that they can stay safe while they take their shot. I mean, cameras fall, lenses fall from like 20,000 feet, 10,000 feet above the
and it's
ground, a
gone.
thousand, 2,000 feet, and they are gone. They can't be fixed, they can't be recovered. So that's the problem. Now, that budget, which you would have to renew every time you want to um, shoot every time you want to shoot or reshoot or work on a project. Imagine now having a device that you can use and reuse over and over again to do the same thing,
Yeah.
and then you have total control over it. I mean, that's
Mm.
beautiful. It has really streamlined and cut down on the cost of producing media generally, and then it has made it very affordable for people, for content creators, for journalists, for filmmakers generally, being able to afford a drone and then afford having the right aerial shots in their
Mm.
in their videos. Some time ago, when we see Nollywood movies, I mean, when Nollywood was just starting out, there were barely any
Yeah.
aerial shots in their films because they couldn't afford having a helicopter
Good
and
drone.
a cinematographer going to get the shot. Now what they need is a good drone,
And you get good shots.
which is which has really made it very possible for them. It's very
Wow.
affordable, accessible.
I could just imagine the possibilities that drone has brought into the media space. Like bro is wild. It's like people are yet to get into
Wow, it's vast, it's
tap
big.
into that possibility. Wow. Wow. Like I'm learning a lot actually. One of these people don't know is when you're having conversations like this, you're opening yourself to knowledge, even if you don't get to get into those areas, like you're learning, you're getting to see. Oh wow. So but recently I started noticing some things. People started introducing AI with drones, like automation, like what do you think about AI and drones? Like it's doing a lot.
So every time I think about AI and its infusion into our daily lives, into our work, into our careers, I think about it from the point of view of the person using this AI and channeling it to achieve their desired result.
Yeah.
As beautiful as AI is, or as fantastic as the very concept of it and the application of it is, we have to we have to state clearly that if you do not know how to, okay, let me answer it this way. I was having a conversation with some guy, one of my friends, one of my very good friends, who learned programming a while ago. He learned how to build websites. Yeah, I mentioned the when he talked about how difficult it was, how tiresome the process of writing code is. I mentioned, isn't there? I asked him a question. Isn't there AI doing all that now? Because at the time I was having this conversation with him, he wasn't giving a lot of attention to coding
AI.
anymore. So I asked
Oh.
him, isn't there isn't there AI for all those processes right now? And he told me that the thing with AI is that you have to know exactly what you're looking for or what you want AI to do for you before AI will be able to do it for you. Otherwise, you end up asking for the wrong thing and AI will give you the wrong. results.
Prompt
So I think
answers.
that is the same thing in it cuts across every area of our lives and every application of AI. Basically, as a drone pilot, think about it. If I want to get a particular shot, since I'm a film, I use drone area photography for filmmaking purposes.
Yeah.
If I don't know the shot I want to get, there's hardly any way I can get it right, even if I have the best AI tools available to me. So
True.
it's important that first of all I have the right knowledge of what I want to get first,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can now ask AI to
Help you
to
out.
to produce that for me. Okay, fly the drone this way, this way, this way. Get me a shot like this, or applying Google Earth Studio to get certain views. I just have to know exactly what I want to get first, and then ask AI to get it done for me.
Oh wow. Wow, because that was these guys that I saw online. They could produce this software that you don't actually need to go shoot a drone outside. You could just give a prompt, and the AI could produce. I've forgotten the software. The AI could simulate. It just joins picture together and simulate that
No, I'll be
shot.
happy to.
So that
I'll be happy to know the software.
all right, I'm good. Once I'm doing this podcast, I'm going to search about it. I'm going to. I saw it actually. That's why I actually put. That's why I actually asked this particular question because people always ask, is AI collecting your creativity or is enhancing your creativity? As I'm going to ask you now, is do you think it's collecting people's creativity or is enhancing creativity?
Uh, So is AI collecting your creativity or is AI enhancing your creativity? Several years ago, in my study of the development of the camera, I came
Yeah,
across this same issue. At first, some people were just painting portraits. When we had people, in order to get a portrait of yourself, first of all, you had to be able to afford it. So only the really
mm-hmm.
rich people at that time could afford it. So in order to
Afford it.
get a
Yeah.
picture of yourself, a portrait of yourself, you have to get someone to paint you. So they would make you strike a pose and stay in that pose for long hours so they can draw, they can paint, they can keep looking at you and painting on their canvas. Yeah.
That
So
would have been a lot.
with that being their technology at the time, when
Yeah.
it was a lot, it actually was a lot, but they didn't know how much it was. Although they valued and loved the craft, they really, really had a lot of emphasis on the craft. I mean, Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa is still one of the most valuable paintings, if not the most valuable painting on earth till today.
Wow.
We still have a lot of people, Van Gogh and the rest of them, whose art still holds a lot of value today. So at the time when the camera was invented, they had a problem, and they believed that the camera was going to kick them out of business. That
Oh
was
my
the camera
god.
that the first set of cameras that was invented at the time. They even,
Yeah.
I think I heard somewhere that they protested against it.
My goodness,
So they
against
had
camera. So
they
this
tried
same
to
way,
fight it.
like literally this same
The
thing
same thing.
happening is happening. It happened before.
Yeah, it's just history repeating itself. And then
My God.
the camera first came out with a film, so we had the film camera at first. And when the digital camera came out, the photographers who were using the film camera complained about digital camera as well. He said he was taken away from the creativity. But
My
look at how
God.
much we've been able to achieve today
Achi.
using the
Yeah.
digital camera. Look at digital storage, cloud storage, and the rest of it. And then guess what? When AI came out at first, and people were able to develop images using AI, guess who complained?
The same set of human beings, the
Who was
people, the
complaining?
camera
Who was
guys.
used to doing it? This had now become our traditional way of doing all these things. So when it feels like when there's advancement in technology, those who have a hard time taking a step into what is next, what
Mm-hmm.
is what is evidently next. You can't stop people from improving, and you can't just stop technology. Basically, you can slow it down. You can slow down technological process or technological progress. You can slow it down, but that's the best you can do, really, because the same way
Yeah.
one person has this idea, Several other people around the world have the same idea, and everybody is rushing to be the first person to create this thing because nobody remembers the second guy. Everybody always remembers the first person to invent, to
Mm.
innovate, to create.
Yeah.
So many people are rushing to invent this thing. You can't stop it. You can only slow it down, basically. So everybody's complaining about AI, but I think AI is just there to enhance creativity because first of all, AI most of the time won't just take steps on its own to create.
Yeah.
And for every time you have seen I have seen AI create something, it created something out of a prompt given to it by a human being who then adjusts using the same AI, just with more prompts. No, don't make it yellow, make it blue. Don't
Yeah.
make it bigger, make it bolder, give it this look, add the shadow here. But so it has come to enhance our creativity basically. It's not there to, well, it requires intelligence to be able to do certain things. So if your job does not require, if you don't require intelligence to do your job, you don't have a problem with AI. But if your job requires intelligence, infuse it with AI and get even better results than you would.
Yeah. Do you know personally, AI has helped me in my own job as a programmer. I know there are times when I really want to write a code. I have the ideology of the code in my brain. Like I know
Right?
what to have it there, but trying to connect the dots is a problem, right? I just, you know what, I'm not going to be thinking about this. And this is why I have AI. I just transfer my thoughts to.
True. True. That's the thing, better and better and better. If we have come this far at this point, sometimes I, sometimes I used to think and ask myself when I see movies that they're not stopping anytime soon, they actually are not. That's technology for you. Technology never stops. There was technology at the time of let's say in the year 200 AD or 150 AD or 50 AD. The technology at that time was scrolls, parchments, then they used quill and ink to write on it. That was the technology at the time. So many years later, the printing press was invented and it became the biggest thing. So many years later, the telephone was invented and it became the biggest thing. And then the internet was invented. And you would agree with me that for every invention, there has been an improvement. So every time we invent something, we start to improve on that thing. We start to improve on that thing. We continue to improve on that thing we have invented. So I think it's just human nature. It's basic human nature. So technology won't stop. Okay. So will there be a time when phone cameras can stand side by side to compete with digital cameras? Hmm. It's a tough question. To, will there be a time? Probably. The possibilities are high. But here's the thing. For it to be possible, for us to be able to achieve it, we need to understand several things. Now, first of all, for a phone's camera to be able to compete comfortably with digital camera, it will need to have the abilities of the digital camera in its time. What makes a good picture, what makes a camera stand out from is most of the time is the sensor. It's the sensor in the camera. Cameras have really large sensors. Their sensors are way larger than that of the phone's camera, which makes the pictures from a digital camera better than that of a phone's camera. But the thing about the phone's camera is that it is very available. It is readily available to everybody who has a phone, has a camera automatically. All the phones these days come with cameras. But we have to understand that. Can you hear me? At some point, we will need to agree that I'm here. Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Good. Let me go ahead. So now, in order for in order for any phone producing company to be able to produce a phone that its camera will compete comfortably with the digital camera, first of all, we have to ask ourselves questions. Which of the digital cameras are you competing with? Which of them are you competing with? There are camera setups. There are cameras. I know of camera lenses that have like this size. Okay, this is my coffee. This is my coffee cup. The lens is like this, and it costs about 2 million naira currently for a lens. How many phones cost that much, or how many phones are worth that much? And that's just the lens. And this is one of the things that makes for a good picture in the first place. So you want something that makes for a good picture in the first place, but phones do not have that capacity. Understand that the camera of a phone, for a phone to have a camera that will compete with a digital camera, first of all, the company producing that phone has to partner with a camera producing company. So let's say Samsung wants to produce a camera on, or let's go to Redmi. Redmi wants to produce a camera that would comfortably compete with digital wants to produce a phone with the camera that will compete with digital cameras. Then they have to sponsor. They have to go into partnership with a company that produces digital cameras, because it's all about simplifying the technology in the digital camera and then reducing it, compressing it, and making it smaller to fit into the phone. Remember that the phone is designed to do several other tasks, it has several other abilities at the same time. So it's not just for snapping, it's just for taking pictures. So will it happen? Probably. But I think we are still a long shot from that time. But in the meantime, are there phones that can do really amazing things? Yes. But will they ever will we get a phone that will compete with an IMAX? Will we get a phone that will compete with an IMAX 3D? I doubt. A phone that will compete with a Red, I doubt. But uh, but that's the thing with technology. It just keeps improving. So I think we just have to be patient and see the future of phones and phone photography really. But until then,